Good morning everybody and welcome to today's meeting of Cabinet Committee on Local Issues. It's Wednesday the 23rd of July at 10 o'clock. I'm Councillor Graham Turner, who will be chairing this meeting. So we'll move on to item 1, which is membership of the committee. Councillor Kendrick. Thank you for that. Minutes of the previous meeting, which we... Sorry? Oh, sorry, and we have apologies from Councillor Tyler, who's on his honeymoon at the moment in London, so... And Dad, obviously, because Councillor Kendrick's substituting. So, minutes of the previous meeting, we can't approve those because we haven't got those two people here. Any declarations of interest for members of the committee? No. Admission to the public. The public are entitled to attend, but there's no one here at the moment. Deputations and petitions. We have no deputations or petitions. Public question time. There's no members of the public here, so we can't. Excuse me. So we can't have any public question time. Member question time. There's only 2 members here, so again, there will be no member question time this morning. So we'll move on to the substantive item today, which is item 8, objection report, proposed traffic calming Bradshaw Road, Honley. Do officers want to present this for a start?
Came around. Oh, is it just switched on? Hi, my name's Dean Barker, Highway Safety. I'm responsible for designing the scheme. The scheme is a section of traffic calming on Bradshaw Road that is being formulated in response to residents who had, via the Ask Honley Forum and the local ward members, expressed concerns about the speeds of vehicles coming in towards Honley along Bradshaw Road, particularly at the south-western end of Bradshaw Road, close to where it becomes rural and the 60-mile-an-hour limit is. As a result of that, we carried out some speed surveys. The speed surveys evidenced extensive abuse of the speed limit, numerous vehicles exceeding 50 mile an hour within the 30 limit. The council has agreed to fund a scheme for traffic calming on that basis at the top end of the village. We consulted with in the region of 350 residents, including everybody who lives along Bradshaw Road, and some of the side roads close to the main road, close to Bradshaw Road. We also consulted with the usual bodies, external bodies that we do. We received very little feedback. I believe we only had 3 responses from all those consultations, one of which led to one of the objections that we're going to consider today. We then formally advertised the intention to put in the traffic calming, which is just 2 road humps and 1 set of speed cushions, incidentally. And we received 2 objections, which we're now here to consider. I believe that about covers it.
Okay, thank you. We've received a couple of objections through email, so Jodie's going to read those out at the moment. And then there's a comment from one of the local councillors, Councillor Greaves.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, Objector 1 has just wanted to highlight that whilst they accept that speed is an issue, in particular as you head up Bradshaw Road beyond Sycamore Terrace, they are concerned, their concerns still stand as in their original email regarding the proposals, in particular the proposed portion of cushions and humps, and concerns about the national speed limit beyond Cross Lane on Bradshaw Road. And then Objector 2 has sent 6 questions and comments. The 14th of March letter residents received didn't have the plan detailed in Appendix 2. There has been a misunderstanding around the comments they made regarding horse and traffic calming. All the vehicles currently slow down here, and after speaking with horse riders, they have raised concerns. It's not the cars which are a problem, it's the traffic calming which startles them. Drivers have 160 metres to slow down before the traffic calming, which is too long. They should stop at the 30-mile-per-hour sign. The objector was told by a local ward councillor that this was a councillor-led scheme at a cost of 50k, and if it doesn't go ahead, they would lose this money. The report states that if the proposals don't go ahead, then the loss would only be 14.5k. The letter sent to the objector stated that 360 residents were consulted on the proposals by letter, and there were signs up at the library. The residents where the objector lives were not consulted and were not invited to the library to see the proposals. The current scheme installed only affects around 26 properties. If you would like to respond, please.
Yeah, the first point about the lack of an Appendix 2 and a plan HS25 66917 FMG, there was no plan in the letter or appendix that's been referred to by the objector. That quote there is actually the reference at the top of the letter, so I suspect there's just been a mix-up on his part about what it means. The other issue about horses, I can't really comment. All I would say is that for me, by far the most concerning thing if I was a horse rider would be a vehicle doing 55, 60 mile an hour as I'm riding up that road, and the traffic calming aims to cure that. There may well be occasional noise issues, particularly where, say, an unladen HGV goes over a road hump, that could be particularly frightening for a horse, but the likelihood of a horse rider and that coinciding is quite low, whereas the speeds are happening all the time. So I think on balance it's the right option. I would also say that if the horse riders were concerned about this, I would have thought they would have put a letter in during consultation or advertisement to voice their objections themselves, which they haven't done. The issue regarding drivers have 160 metres to slow down, etc. I agree totally. But the evidence we've got says that they're not doing that, and that's the reason why we're doing this scheme. So I don't know how else to respond to that comment, but agree with what the objector's saying. The thing about money, why does it say a 50k scheme and 14.5k? That 14.5k just represents what we've spent to date. So if we drop the scheme now, we would lose all that money. It would have been spent for nothing if the scheme was dropped. The majority of the costs of the scheme are in construction, which obviously haven't happened yet, which is where the anomaly comes from. The consultation list, it included every property on Bradshaw Road, all the way from the first right down to Meltham Road, and it also went down the adjoining side roads by, say, 4 or 5 houses on every side road. I'm not sure who he's referring to haven't been consulted. I don't know. I'm aware this objector lives on Bradshaw Road, so they certainly were. We have to draw the line somewhere. It's impossible to target everybody who will ever drive down Bradshaw Road, so I think we went to a reasonable degree there in doing it. The library, the issue with the plan at the library, that was only done at the request of Councillor Greaves. It's not part of our standard consultation procedure. He actually asked me if I could get some plans to the library, just because he's aware that a lot of groups meet there and a lot of people go there. So I drove down there myself and took some plans to the library just so they were available. We didn't invite anybody formally to go to the library, so there was no, preference to anybody given. The scheme doesn't only affect 26 properties. There's somewhere in excess of 35 that are directly adjoining the scheme, but you have to remember that there's 1,800 vehicles a day drive through there. It affects all them. It affects anybody who's walking along there, anybody who's cycling along there, anybody who's this objector has mentioned, rides a horse along there. So it's not just 26 properties. It affects a lot wider range of people. That's it.
Thank you. I think we've got one comment from Councillor Greaves. Unfortunately, he sends his apologies, but he's on annual leave.
So Councillor Greaves wanted to add that the need for speed reduction was identified through the place standard process Ask Conley. Because of the community concern over this issue, the Ask Conley group made it their #1 issue and secured the majority of the funding for the works from the place standard fund, with the balance coming from ward budget. Councillor Greaves appreciates that not everyone likes speed bumps, himself included, but there has been a lot of public engagement over a long period of time over this issue, with changes in design and scope to address the concerns raised. Having considered the issues and after the range of alternative options were ruled out due to deployment rules, highway design rules and impact on parking, the current scheme is the only deliverable way to address the problem. Additional works are planned through the review of speed limits to the upper section of Bradshaw Road and through a TRO for double yellow lining to prevent junction parking on the lower section of the road. Councillor Grieve expresses support for the scheme as proposed and hopes that it is installed before we have another accident. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Councillor Cranley, would you like to make any comments?
Yes, I mean, I've obviously read the report and I've had a look at Google Maps and I see there is a stables along there, so horses are a regular issue. In fact, on the Google Map thing, there was a horse rider coming down the road, and I accept that horses may not be comfortable or nervous around a change in road level, but we're talking about speed humps, aren't we? So horses can be steered like a car and could go round if it was an issue, is my view. So, I mean, it looks eminently sensible to go forward with this proposal. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Excuse me, having read the report, I've been in this committee for many, many years now. I haven't yet seen a more compelling reason to put speed bumps in. The speed down that road is horrendous. The numbers of people speeding are horrendous. And as I say, I think the evidence is overwhelming that this needs something to be done about it. We've heard the reasons why we shouldn't do this from the objectors, etc. But I think on balance, there's absolutely no doubt that this is the right thing to do. As I say, the evidence is there. It's not just one or two. This is persistent speeding, and it's not only persistent speeding. It's persistent speeding at significantly higher than the speed limit. It's not just if you're doing 35, 40. This is some horrendous numbers in there. So, whilst as I say, happy to listen to the objections, etc. On balance, I'm going to propose that we accept this and that we move forward as soon as possible. As Councillor Greaves points out before, anything else serious happens along that road. Have we a seconder for that?
Indeed.
Right, so all in favour? Both of us? Right, so we're going to overrule those objections and implement this scheme as soon as possible, please. Can I thank everybody for attending this morning, and we'll now close the meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you.